of Education, Juliet Namudu, warns education institutions to observe measures instituted by the government. Take a watch.
At least 1,500 teachers and head teachers from the 5 divisions of Kampala have been prepared for safe reopening of schools starting January 10th, 2022. Kampala Capital City Authority Director of Education, Juliet Namudu, says the training sessions by Kampala Capital City Authority in collaboration with Cheshire Services Uganda and Acts Fund orient teachers and strengthen COVID-19 surveillance systems in schools.
To listen to the Ministry of Education and Sports in regards to how teaching and learning is going to be carried out differently, and 3, without leaving the special needs children behind, and 3 was for psychosocial support. We are very aware that the teachers of Uganda and the rest of the world have struggled immensely during COVID-19 and have been emotionally challenged. So we needed to prepare them as teachers and head teachers to, 1, calm themselves down, sort themselves down as individuals, but also prepare themselves very well for the children.
She warned that education institutions risk closure if they fail to adhere to measures instituted by government to guard learners from COVID-19. Since the closure of schools in March 2022, several learners, teachers and parents have been going through psychological challenges ranging from anxiety about their future and economic uncertainty, as the Director Acts Fund, Enoch Kabuye, explained.
We all know that psychologically our teachers are not prepared, the children are not prepared, even the parents are not prepared. So at the end of the day, what do? We try to prepare the mindset so that when the teachers go back to school, they adapt to the new normal. The new normal means the pandemic is not gone, it is still ongoing, and they will have to work within the parameters of the pandemic.
The teachers said the trainings were timely as it outlined effective procedures to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 in learning institutions.
Please kindly send back the children to school. We as teachers, we are prepared to receive the children. We have been prepared to receive them in whatever situation they are in, but encourage them to come back to school so that they continue with their education. That is my appeal.
Tumwine Brian Biaruhanga, UBC News.
Preparedness there, of course, very, very important as teachers prepare to go back to school come January 2022. Now, it's been good news to journalists covering Mengo who have been awarded certificates for exceptional reporting of Mengo issues. Katichiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Maiga, appreciated UBC and Star TVs for working hard despite the challenges they go through. They were attending an end-of-year party organized by Katichiro Peter Maiga.
Journalists and editors covering Mengo have been applauded for reporting Mengo issues. They were attending an end-of-year party organized by Katichiro Charles Peter Maiga. He told journalists that their profession connects all people and appealed to them to avoid sectarianism.
Amawulire amafumbirire yeri nabero nafumba amawulire emengo batunze ettaka bali mazeeyo nakibeerako yogera kale gye baalitunze.
Maiga also appealed to the public to adhere to the COVID-19 standard operating procedures and get vaccinated.
Bwe batakukebera ng'omulira tekikutaasa genda bakukebere kuba kati tekikyatiisa bakujjanja bojja kuwona. Mwegeme oba bano abazinyi baffe beegema simanyi mugende babageme muve mwoyo pokopoko bwe mbadde mbagamba.
Patron of Uganda Journalists Association Prince David Chintu Wasaja appreciated the Katichiro for supporting journalists.
Nga Katichiro tanakwasibwa ddamula ebintu by'ensonga z'amawulire n'empuliziganya wakati w'Obwakabaka wakati wa Mengo n'okutuusa obubaka bwa Ssaabasajja eri mu bantu bwali butyo omuzungu bayandiikise sporadic kwegamba nga kisinziira minisita aliwo enkolagana ye n'abannamawulire enkolagana ye n'omunnamawulire gundi ne radio station eno.
The chairperson of the association requested for an office at Bulange where journalists can work from and deliver finished stories.
Tunagita media center nga bwajja emirimu gyo gyonna gikolerawo n'aweereza abakulu bano ne bibatuukako nga tebalinnye taxi oba boda kuddusa mirimu kugitwala ku mulimu.
Some journalists decried of less pay, among other challenges.
Face a lot of challenges like facilitation, transport, feeding, housing and low pay.
Ebisale bisinga abantu batwerabira nga abamawulire weewawo nga tuli bankizo nnyo era nga tulina ettaffaali eteeka ku ggwanga lino Uganda.
Kamala byonna wagambye kyongera okukola omulimu gwaffe n'obukugu okulaba nti abantu batwesiga olwaga amawulire ge tubawa nsonga tulina abatuvuganya bangi wabula gwe engeri gy'okolamu omulimu gwo yeviirako abantu okwesiga n'ekyo ky'obawa.
Jane Ramcha, Andrew Sebira, UBC News.
And congratulations Star and UBC TVs for representing us ably at Mengo. And on to matters pertaining to health, specifically COVID-19 vaccination, where Ugandans have been urged to get tested and be vaccinated against COVID-19 as the country prepares to open up the economy come January 2022. We have more in this report.
More people still flock vaccination centers to receive their COVID-19 jab as a measure to counter the coronavirus. At Kampala City Hall Clinic, the in charge of vaccination, Achandro, says on average they receive 500 people daily who come to get the first and second jab. AstraZeneca, Sinovac and Pfizer are the common vaccine administered at the center.
Those are the ones we use currently here at the clinic vaccination site.
She further pleaded to Ugandans to come for vaccination.
We have an average of 500 every day. That is both new and old people, second and first dose clients. We start early, as early as 8:30, and then we end by 4:30. We're closing to balance everything.
And in other centers, like Kololo Airstrip and Chitante Primary School, there were no activity.
Guys who are there thinking that it's about to death, no. You have to get the vaccine to rescue your life.
Tumwene Brian Biaruhanga, UBC News.
To southwestern Uganda now, and in Kisoro, where leaders in the southwestern district of Kisoro are over the moon and celebrating President Museveni's appointment of Robert Mukiza as the Executive Director of Uganda Investment Authority. They have vowed to support him and to ensure the establishment of the proposed industrial park is set up in the area.
The appointment of Robert Mukiza, the Executive Director of Uganda Investment Authority, has raised hopes in Kisoro district.
Industries are going to come. The industrial park is going to come. That is not a question. How do we, as the youth and the people of Kisoro, skill ourselves so that the industrialists come and just have the people here to work in those industries?
Kisoro district leaders organized a party at Kisoro Tourist Hotel, where Kisoro district chairperson Abel Bizimana promised all the assistance needed for industrialization in the area, since 620 acres of land in Chibaya, Rukundo Town Council, Kisoro district, was available.
Which is if you have 100 investors, bring 20 here. We don't mind how many districts are in Uganda.
The 620 acres of land were availed in August 2021. State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Sarah Mateke, said that with the construction of some roads in DRC, traders and industrialists in Kisoro will get market for their product. Mukiza noted that Uganda Investment Authority is also pushing for the development of local investors to ensure equitable regional development.
Recently, at the Uganda Investment Authority, we changed the Department of SMEs, call it Domestic Investment Division.
The government of Uganda plans to construct 25 industrial parks across the country following a partnership agreement inked between Uganda Investment Authority and GPDF. This is in line with Vision 2040 and the 3rd National Development Plan.
Now, Ugandans will always remember 2021 after the devastating terror attacks which occurred in the month of October and November and left scores dead and others nursing injuries. The terror attacks on the innocent civilians was the major highlight of the year 2021 that prompted Uganda to deploy her UPDF troops in North Kivu and Ituri provinces to flush out the Islamic State's financed Ugandan-based rebel group in the Congo, the ADF. Haruna Mtesa Sira reports.
Spirals of smoke rose above Kampala after strings of deadly terror attacks that rocked Kampala in the month of October and November. The attacks created fear in the hearts of many Ugandans living in Kampala. The terror attacks began on 23rd October 2021 at Komamboga Cave Joint when an explosion killed a 20-year-old waitress and injured 3 others.
Capabilities that we've had in fighting and countering terrorism in the country to track down.
Police linked Komamboga blast to ADF, though Islamic State claimed responsibility. 2 days later, on 25th October 2021, a bomb was detonated on a Swift bus at Luangala-Mpegi district, killing the suicide bomber and wounding 3 passengers.
We got a detonator on his seat. Metallic bearings were all over him, and several wire gadgets were also found on him. First of all, the person who disembarked from the bus, we are already tracking that person. That is after the Maya checkpoint.
Islamic State claimed both attacks, and police reported that the suicide bomber was on its list of wanted Allied Democratic Forces ADF, though police denied the Islamic State attacks claim. Nevertheless, these were signals of more deadly attacks to come soon that sparked tempo of ADF attacks in Kampala. Burst occurred at Segali village in Semuto sub-county in Nakaseke district on 29th October 2021 and left 3 children dead after playing with a suspected metal object.
I believe that there is somebody who brought this item or object and kept it with the grandmother of the home. However, when she was away to attend to a daughter who was delivering, kids picked the object unknowingly from the house and started playing with it.
Be cautious of the friends or relatives that we have at times. Not all friends are friends, not all relatives are relatives. I think it's very important to take note.
On the chill morning hours of November 16, 2021, a suicide bomber blew up himself at the entrance of the Central Police Station in the capital Kampala. 3 minutes later, another bomb was detonated along the Parliamentary Avenue in front of the IPS building, housing the chambers of the IGG and adjacent to the Parliament building. The twin bomb explosions occurred within 3 minutes of each other. Both were carried out by attackers carrying explosives.
We are still talking about 3 bodies of people that are dead, 3 suicide attackers who killed themselves.
Possible attack on the 3rd target at Katoke in Nansana municipality was foiled by police who pursued and disarmed a suspected suicide bomber known as Mose.
Him and managed to arrest him. Is only identified as Mose.
The attacks raised questions about the links and tactics of jihadist groups in the region, whether they are increasing their focus on Uganda and presenting a wider threat. Shortly after the twin suicide bombings in Kampala, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni vowed to eliminate the terrorists and deal with those operating in Eastern Congo once and for all.
Tulichimanya Joshua Matthias, Bagonza Joseph, these are 12 who have been killed inside Uganda since the attempt on Katumba in June. Once you get some, it is a matter of time before you get all of them.
In the aftermath of the bomb blasts, suspects were arrested in Kampala, Ntoloko, Nakaseke and Luweero district. Muslim community in Uganda struggled to cope with the aftermath of the twin suicide bombings. Media reports blame the faith for whatever reasons.
Netugende ekireka nentuukayo ne bangamba tebamulina ne bakakasanzi wano bwe bangambye okujja ne bangamba tetumuyina okuva olwo okutuuka olwaleero Muhammad Ssemwanga tetumanyi we yaggalirwa.
The killing of Sheikh Muhammad Chirif raised fears among Muslims and other victims who largely had Islamic names.
I normally monitor closely these operations. There is no way the security operatives would have known about Chirif Muhammad if he was not connected with the Katumba group.
Human Rights Watch previously documented cases in which security had allegedly tortured ADF suspects and held them without trial for a long period of time. 15 suspects were arraigned before the courts of law, charged with aiding and abetting related terrorism activities to their alleged role in bombings in October and November that left scores dead and a number nursing wounds. The suspects were remanded until January 13, 2022, when they will appear again in courts of law. The question is, deploying UPDF troops in Eastern Congo would be the everlasting solution to terror attacks on Ugandan soil? Your answer is as good as mine. Mutesa Sira Haruna, UBC News.
Thanks, Mutesa Sira Haruna, for that special report there. And of course, looking at the war on terror here in Uganda, and of course, following those attacks that happened in the country, the President of the Republic, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, sending troops to work alongside those of Congo to fight the ADF in the DRC. Now, the cases of malnutrition in refugee camps in Uganda are increasing and have prompted Action Against Hunger, a non-governmental organization, to warn that the cases are likely to escalate if lockdown continues. Sarah Namuli, Action Against Hunger Program Officer at Bidibidi Refugee Settlement in Yumbe District, attributes the increasing cases on COVID-19 since most donors have cut funds. Philip Aguta now reports.
Bidibidi Refugee Settlement is located in Yumbe District, West Nile Sub-region. Life in the refugee settlement here is hard with malnutrition caused by imbalances in a person's intake of energy or nutrients. The latest mass community screening survey conducted in Bidibidi Refugee Settlement indicates that the malnutrition levels have gone to 7.2% compared to 4.9% before COVID-19 outbreak.
Currently, from the last conducted mass screening exercise, the gum rate was at 7.2. This is quite high because it is above the recommended 5%, but then we know that we have some aggravating factors in the community, and this can be reduced. However, this was higher than the gum rates that we registered earlier on in mass screening, which were 4.9. These could be attributed to some of the effects of lockdown, access to services.
The cases are high among pregnant women and children due to reduced food ratios as a result of COVID-19 pandemic.
They are given nutritious foods, but we are talking about a vulnerable group, the pregnant mothers, the lactating women, and the children that are below 2 years. These need an extra meal at least per day. If we talk about the pregnant mothers, they need at least 2 extra meals. The general food ration cannot cater for this because their demands go high once they are pregnant. For a child that is below 2 years, they have a very rapid growth spurt.
As a remedy, the refugees are being encouraged to grow some vegetables to supplement supplied food ratios.
And in order to achieve this, Action Against Hunger has been able to engage them on different activities like kitchen gardening to maintain a constant supply of at least vegetables from their homes that they can supplement from the general food ration that is given.
Duku, a resident of Zone 4, Village 2 in Bidibidi, says the community is embracing the program, but they are hindered by limited land in the camps.
I have the little land that surround my home, and the land is not all that enough. As you can see, it's only the land that can be used for planting these vegetables. So I am also aiming at planting a lot of things like cassava, maize, sorghum, so that it can also help me. But I'm seeing the land is not enough, so I am advising the partners in order to maybe talk to the host so that the host can be able to provide us with.
During an induction meeting, Yumbe district leaders were urged to make policies that improve household incomes.
To you, the councillors, we want to reiterate that we are here to serve our community. The political differences ended when you made an oath. We're very happy that you have taken the oath and you're living the words of the oath by being able to accept to take up this kind of capacity building. It is our commitment.
Story compiled by Philip Aguta for UBC News.
The principal of Munyenyo Catholic Basilica, Reverend Father Francis Kule Kojo, has advised married couples to respect, love and forgive one another as the best option of sustaining marriages. Reverend Father Kule, who was the principal celebrant at Holy Matrimony of Pascal Wambale of Kasese and Lolem Bena from Morutu district, urged husbands to give attention to their wives, saying that from creation, marriage is between man and woman.
It was a moment of joy and excitement at Munyenyo Catholic Basilica when Pascal Wambale Amukonjo from Kasese exchanged psalm vows with Lolem Bena, a Karimajong from Morutu district.
Pascal Wambale, take this ring as a sign of my love and fidelity in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
The main celebrant, Reverend Father Kule Kojo of Munyenyo Catholic Basilica, advised them to uphold the sacraments of holy matrimony.
They should be exemplary in their marriage, that other couples, other younger men may look to them and admire the sacrament of holy matrimony and also learn from them how to go about family life that is rooted in Christ.
He advised the wedded couples to avoid tribalism based on one's culture, ensure forgiveness, and maintain best marriage principles.
We are human beings, we make errors, we annoy each other, and if one is to carry that anger against a partner in marriage, then the marriage will not be successful. We should forgive each other as much as possible, and then reconcile and push on with the obligations of marriage.
After taking their holy vows, the bride and groom assured to practice everlasting love and fear of God in their marriage.
I am now a man. This is something that I've been missing in my life. We have been together for the last 14 years, but there are so many issues in life and marriage, but above all is love, forgiveness, and so many other issues.
Now, from today onwards, just as I vowed today, I promise my husband love. I will not reduce. It has been there, but now, from now onwards, it's just going to increase because as a woman, I feel more comfortable and I know now I'm permanent till death does us part.
Abraham Waiter compiled this report.
Chalu Mbibwa Francis, a craft maker, has changed the dynamics of art by molding synthetic materials into some interesting and good decorations for homes. Now, despite having attractive products, the market for his products is still a challenge, as we hear in this report.
After working in the diaspora for 5 years, Chalumbiwa Francis decided to establish his creative enterprise at home.
I went to Abu Dhabi. I tried to learn this. I tried to learn this, and I thought that when I go back to Uganda, I will start making this and earn some money instead of doing common work.
With a colleague, they design interior artwork ranging from lampshades, small and big water fountains.
People, they call them these drainage pipes, PVC drainage pipes. These lamps, they are designed from PVC pipes. But when it's done, you can't believe it that it's a PVC pipe. If they can allow me, I can make and construct a very beautiful fountains in Uganda, mostly in Kampala, making them and maintaining them.
The crafts by the duo offers society with the potential for preservation of culture and diverse choice based on individual taste and preferences.
People, they like birds. Some people, they like animals, like this one, a glove. Some people, they like to put on their photos. Some people, they like cartoons.
However, limited capital is one of the Uganda's main challenges faced by artists and creatives. It limits business growth, development and capacity to explore the lucrative international market.
They don't know this. They are not on market right now. Their market is not high in Uganda, but I think with time, people, they will like them.
There are opportunities for creatives to create content and products for the world, to bypass traditional goalkeepers and barriers to entry, to leverage technology for better efficiency and scale.
Market penetration and products awareness is another impeding factor for the enterprise.
People, they like them, but they are somehow expensive. They are somehow expensive because making things to reach at the final stage, you have to put in much. So that's why some people, they are complaining, your things, they are good but expensive.
Possible if we invest in our young creatives. And it gives us a sense of some of the levers that we need to pull to unlock the potential of the creative industry.
The creative industry is on a slow growth trajectory, and the government through Juakali is supporting registered small and medium craft workshops. Abdul Nasir Lubwama, UBC News.
To Kakumiro district now, where Prime Minister Robin Nabanja has assured Ugandans of the full reopening of the economy amidst the challenge of Omicron variants of COVID-19 in the country. The Prime Minister was addressing residents of Kakumiro district in Igayaza Town Council.
Timu ya Kakumeta ulikanse kuba ekora mu substitute. Timu ya Kakumeta ulikanse ekora mu nchuka.
Tukwenda kuchinguraho abantu bakole emirimu yabo kabulijo. Baitu aromi tukwenda mumanye. Obungweberera no kabarora kwera likirira. Temukujwara mask. Obogemere obatogemere kujwara mask kikuru muno. Ekya kabiri and social distance tero. Omulimo gwo kubegesa kyokole kozeki ebukozire nawe songe yabataka. President ajakwana abaze bikusingawo nyoyongondeze kubagamba ngo mwerabirire. It is your cardinal responsibility. Look after yourselves. Tebijja kuja tubagatekawo mask mulikaire. Kandi noborarwara saha zino obujunaanizibwa tukabuteka mu malwaro ganyu mu byalo. Obujunaanizibwa twabukwasa ba VHTs. Obujunaanizibwa twabukwasa iwe ng'omuntu.
Okujjako tukyalinamu challenge. Ndi tukyalinamu abatambuza ebisolo nga tebalina balwa 06. So tusaba communities nti tukolere wamu.
Polisi ekirundi ekyo kiragidde bulagizi nga Prime Minister. Teka polisi ekirundi omubbi bw'abava Kakumiro ng'abyete nga Jagayaza bamukwatirawo. Bw'abava ajibye Gayaza ng'agenda saidi ze Kakumiro tumutegerawo.
Prime Minister Nabanja addressing residents of Kakumiro and specifically those in Igayaza, and of course encouraging them to go for the COVID-19 vaccination, because we are looking forward to opening the economy come January 2022, but you must be vaccinated, and of course you have to protect yourself against COVID-19. How do you do that? wash your hands with water and soap, wear that mask, it's very, very important, and of course, social distancing. We're now going to take a very short break and return with business news.
Today in history.
The Minister of Bantu Education, MC Botha, announced that the government of South Africa had moved towards the introduction of free and compulsory education for black pupils. This was the 5th concession to black demands since the 1976 Soweto uprising. The government had also reversed the introduction of Afrikaans as medium of instruction in schools, suspended the homeland citizenship requirement for blacks leasing houses in township, introduced a home ownership scheme, and agreed in principle to give increased powers to Bantu councils in black areas.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more Senku points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 Senku points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More Senku points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your Senku points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Raising voices.
As a teacher, I have the opportunity to shape how children grow and learn. I believe in creating a non-violent school where children feel safe and respected. I promise to lead by example and create a different kind of relationship with my learners, one that helps them grow.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
I'm growing up, I'm growing into every moment.
Thanks.
Mom.
Nurture the moment with Minute Maid Delight, now available in apple flavor in the 400ml ready-to-drink pack.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more Senku points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 Senku points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More Senku points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your Senku points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend surfaces. Roofing's, strength of a nation.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs.
My name is Sulga Morris. I'm an Airtel Money agent. I'm from Chibuli here. That's where I operate from. I won 2 million shillings. This is great, guys. Go for this. This is for real.
The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
I am one of the millions of people who have been vaccinated. And today I want to ask you to choose to be vaccinated so that we can all go back to enjoying the Uganda we all love. A country that is one of the most entrepreneurial in the world with the most friendly people. A country where we can do business with anyone at any time. A country that is free of COVID-19. So, get vaccinated today in any of the verified health centers and let's bring business back to Uganda. COVID-19 vaccines are free of charge, safe and available.
Invest in your health. Invest in Uganda. This message is brought to you by the Uganda Investment Authority.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy a 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175 hash and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Time now for us to have a look at business news. Tourism and education sectors are said to have suffered more during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown in Uganda. Now, this underscores the need for full reopening to recover lost time and revenue to rebuild the country's economy. Renowned economist and consultant Professor Augustus Nwagaba recommends a multi-sectorial approach towards the fight against the pandemic. Henry Okrut reports.
Businesses have been closed.
It's a very difficult economic situation.
Revenue has been lost.
The tourism sector has suffered.
And people's pockets have shrunk.
We have not had many tourists coming.
A situation brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. The last time an annual Indian Yoga Body Fitness event was held in Uganda was in June 2019. It has since never been conducted since the banning of such public events due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Similar to this prohibition is what befell other activities, including those that mattered more to the country's economy.
The industrial and manufacturing sector has also suffered because you could not have sufficient aggregate demand. The aggregate demand has been subdued. The willingness and ability to pay for commodities, of course, has declined, and therefore you do not expect also the manufacturing sector to be vibrant.
The call for full reopening of the economy remains paramount, but sectors such as education, whose infrastructure and human resource seem to be in disorder, require government bailout.
You cannot have an economy that is vibrant without schools operating. These scholastic materials, they are the ones who consume food. They consume the uniforms and all those the teachers. When teachers are there and they are paid, then the teachers also have money. And if they have money in their pockets, then they also spend. And the entire now circular flow of income moves.
Professor Augustus Nwagaba recommends a multi-sectorial approach similar to one adopted in the fight against HIV/AIDS.
we need to learn how to live with the COVID-19 pandemic and its effects. The way we managed HIV, it was a multi-sector approach which government took, and this was an excellent approach. And in this approach, the country was able to contain HIV, remember, from 38.5% where we were to 18.5% to now the current around 7%.
Speaking of the intensified fight against COVID-19, this is what Professor Nwagaba thinks of what some people describe as forceful vaccination.
If you are not vaccinated and you claim that that is your right not to be vaccinated, how about my right now of also not to be infected by that person who is not vaccinated? So it is therefore important to know that your right should not infringe now on the, on the rights of others.
The COVID-19 pandemic has staggered Uganda's economy since March 2020. The situation could end in January 2022 if plans by government to reopen the economy remain. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Uganda Investment Authority is planning to establish an industrial park on over the 600 acres of land that were acquired around Bunagana border mid this year. The Director General, Uganda Investment Authority, Robert Mukiza, says construction of connection routes to the industrial parks have started to resolve border conflicts arising from job search between people of Kisoro and the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
620 acres right at the border of Congo, Rwanda. Very strategic.
Located in Kisoro district, Bunagana border is an official land border crossing between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The agenda of setting up an industrial park around Bunagana will harness trade in the area and market Uganda's products to Congo and other neighboring districts.
Everything that they need that site should be produced at this industrial park. So I can assure you that in our next engagement on the national strategy for the first 5 industrial parks going forward, we shall make Kisoro a priority.
Mukiza says the establishment of the park will resolve border conflicts with Ugandans crossing to Congo in search for jobs. At least 620 acres of land were acquired in Rukundo Town Council, formerly Nyarubuye Sub-County, in Kisoro district.
The commitment is there, and I want to, and if I'm an investor, I'll be very happy to see a united district decisions.
The construction of the connection routes to the park is also in the pipeline to ensure that the project kickstarts by 2022.
The roads are being built to DRC, to Bunagana, Bunagana to Goma. Everything that they need that site should be produced at this industrial park.
The district chairperson, Abel Bizimana, has thanked President Museveni for extending development to Kisoro district and also choosing their own in steering development.
I want to thank the president by saying that we also love him. We still want to quote our president to continue loving Bafumbira and dropping those evidences of love, like jobs.
I urge you very much to keep supporting Museveni. That industrial park will get here. Just do what you do best. That 95, 91% support. Amazing. Keep supporting His Excellency. We, as the foot soldiers, will continue to do what he and implement his vision of it.
Since his appointment as Director General, Uganda Investment Authority, Robert Mukiza has steered several developments at the authority, including lobbying for investors, mobilization of land banks for investment, among others. Susan Naonga reporting for ABC TV.
The 8th Solar Village model has been launched in Njeru outside Jinja City to reduce the cost of sales, service and maintenance. The Chief Executive Officer of Senda Uganda, Loy Chozeide, says well-trained technicians are used in supporting rural communities set up their solar systems with initial deposits as low as 69,000 shillings.
The 8th solar village has been launched in Chinabi, Njeru Central Division, to ease access to solar electricity and reach at least 1,000 households. Outside the metropolis of Jinja City in eastern Uganda is Chinabi village in Njeru, where Uganda's 8th solar village has been launched. It will enable hundreds of low-cost solar systems aimed at improving access to renewable energy to hundreds of households in the community.
Call upon the government of Uganda that standalone solar home systems, they really help such communities. You can see that there are people who cannot even afford at all, and it will be very expensive to use a power line to extend power to such a person who may not even who might only be interested in a 3 watts bulb. You can imagine the costs involved.
The local authorities within Njeru Division acknowledge that this initiative will help locals within the cosmopolitan community.
He starts life without light, he gets married without light, he produces children without light, he will never enjoy any light. But today, access to solar through our partners, the Sondea, people are going to have fun.
The solar village model guarantees access to well-trained technicians who install the subsidized solar systems to the household in the low-income communities.
We want to increase on the hours of children to read while at home. We want to make sure that we reduce on the fossil fuels. We want to make sure that everybody in this community can have at least access to solar lighting.
And this effort around solar access to Ugandans is timely when connection onto the grid is only at 28%.
Now, Uganda's impressive levels of economic growth in the past 2 decades have been linked to the performance of its economic technocracy and trajectory. Robert Onyango, our reporter, spoke to 3 historical ministers of finance, planning and economic development, Dr. Crispus Chiyonga, Dr. Ezra Suruma and Saida Bumba, who held the docket to build a robust tax base. Take a watch.
At the journey for Uganda's economic outlook and tax base has been the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, which primarily manages the budgetary process, micro and microeconomic stability of the country. Just like the elites say that from grass to grace, Dr. Crispus Chiyonga was among the pioneers at the Ministry of Finance, running the docket from 1986 to 1992 when Uganda's tax base was in tatters.
We just worked very hard to scrap the coffee which was in the villages. And fortunately for 1 year the coffee prices were good, and we only got a whole financial year $400 million to run the country.
According to the Constitution and the Public Finance and Management Act, the President is the Minister of Finance. He only delegates all times by appointing a suitable minister to hold the docket.
When I came in, one of the difficult problems we faced was debt service. We had acquired a very large amount of debt. After the debt forgiveness, which we got in 1997, when our debts were written off as a country, and the money that we should have used to pay those debts in 1997, we were allowed to use it to provide universal primary education.
The finance minister's key assignments is always, among others, to preside over the mobilization of financial resources, regulate their management and formulate policies that enhance overall economic stability and performance.
During our days, my days in Ministry of Finance, the National Planning Authority was just getting established. So that was a bit of a challenge, because we are planning ad hocly, but I'm happy now we have got a fully fledged planning authority handling the planning framework, coordinating the planning framework of this country.
The relationships between myself as a Minister of Finance and the bureaucracy was a major challenge, and I think remains a major challenge for many ministries. You have a technical bureaucracy, then you have an appointed political head, with the minister, and the relationship between the two is critical for the proper working of the ministry and the country.
Here, Dr. Ezra Suruma and Hajat Saida Bumba, who both were at the helm of this docket as political appointees between 2005 to 2011, recalled the economic rebounding moments.
The dam in Jinja had been providing only a partial, I think had 180 watts originally, but over time only I think 30 megawatts were being delivered. But then something happened and even those 30 megawatts could not come. So the country was in a crisis. We didn't have power. We had to do something. We had to acquire fuel-based generators for the country in order to help to make up for the loss in power generation. And that cost was very high. We were paying 26 cents per kilowatt hour. Very, very expensive.
We all know that right from the biblical days, nobody wants to pay taxes. And the way they want the benefits are from the taxes. So revenue mobilization has always been a challenge. And as a developing country, it's going to be a challenge for a very long time. And the reasons why this challenge has remained is because of the narrow tax base. There are very few people paying taxes in this country, at least direct taxes.
Apparently, Dr. Ezra Suruma serves as a senior presidential advisor, whereas Hajat Saida Bumba lives in the evening of her political career.
Of course, the other challenge, we are depending so much on borrowed funds. Like any poor person, we are borrowing, but what we are borrowing is not even adequate to finance what we need. At least government should mobilize, sure, the challenge of financing the recurrent budget.
Like other countries struggling to address the COVID-19 effects on their micro and microeconomic stabilities, Uganda's economic pie chart is not exceptional as it has been hard hit. However, the recovery trajectory is promising.
The pandemic, COVID-19, is something new facing the whole world. No one knew what was coming, and so it was difficult to plan because we've never had this kind of experience that's so overwhelming nationally and regionally and globally. So the impact will probably be felt even more severely later on as these young people who have missed 2 years of school or have been interfered with in their education, as they come to the challenges of the future, will probably feel the impact even more. So I do not know the answer really to your question, except to say that when you fall sick, you can't act as you would when you are well.
The Minister of Finance under the stewardship of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has for the last 35 years been superintended over by 9 ministers. From 1986 to 1992, Dr. Crispus Kionga was the finance minister. 1992 to 1998, the late Joseph Mayanja Nkanji was the finance minister. He was succeeded by Gerald Sendaula, who served between 1998 to 2005. In 2005, Dr. Ezra Suruma assumed the same office and left in 2009. Hajat Saida Bumba then came in 2009 and served till 2011. From 2011 to 2015, the ministry was guided by Maria Kiwanuka. The ministry is now under the command of Matia Kasaija, who has served since 2015. These and other key players have been applauded for laying the foundation which has shifted the economy from that portrayed as for the regime survival to an economy of state building and self-reliance. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Transact and win money after money. money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
I am one of the millions of people who have been vaccinated. And today I want to ask you to choose to be vaccinated so that we can all go back to enjoying the Uganda we all love. A country that is one of the most entrepreneurial in the world with the most friendly people. A country where we can do business with anyone at any time. A country that is free of COVID-19. So, get vaccinated today
in any of the verified health centers
and let's bring business back to Uganda. COVID-19 vaccines are free of charge, safe and available.
Invest in your health. Invest in Uganda. This message is brought to you by the Uganda Investment Authority.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at sports news. And National Council of Sports has hosted its second and final National Sports Forum of 2021. It was a virtual interaction addressed by its chairman and also State Minister for Sports, Hamson Obua. Let's have a look at that story.
The state of Uganda's sport by the end of 2021 has been discussed during the second National Sports Forum.
Despite the budget cut from 25 billion to 18 billion, then later on further budget suppression to a tune of 40%, where we came down from 18 to 10 billion. But despite this enormous budget cut and suppression, the sports subsector still delivered better than any other year in the post-independence history of Uganda.
Federation heads call for urgency on several matters including funding, infrastructure development and the law. State Minister for Sports Hamson Obua in his capacity as chairperson highlighted key areas that need immediate address.
Enormous support from members of cabinet and major decisions were taken especially on about three areas. Area number one was the sports budget. Area number two, the renovation and upgrade of Mandela National Stadium. Area number three was the opening of the sports subsector. You know we still have restrictions under COVID-19.
Uganda in 2022 is preparing for several engagements, notable of which is the World Athletics Championship in the US and the Commonwealth Games in the UK. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Finally, football now, and the inaugural Jen Mbandi Tuka inter-sub-county football tournament has climaxed. John Barnes, Sentamo with the details.
Ibanda municipality residents have over the past weeks enjoyed quality football during the Jen Mbadituka inter-sub-county football tournament. The tournament organizer, who is also Ibanda District Woman Member of Parliament Jen Bainomugisha, is elated by the tournament that she plans to make annual and better.
Kandi yenda kusima organizing committee na nimbashababa iza tournament erine timu ya mani munonga so timu erimu kuleba nezo nembandi tukankamukama wao awokuba na eminyeto emalirire eminyeto ekozere kintu eki okuruga otwatandika mpaka.
Throughout its running, several former Uganda Crane stars have been invited to offer inspiration and were on hand for a friendly against an Ibanda select team in a game that ended 2-2.
We came to give them encouragement that they can also reach the national team levels, because we also started from where they are up to the national team.
On top of playing a key role of uniting people, several exciting players were spotted and attached to other clubs, especially those in Kampala.
As we promised you last time, we're going to pick more players. Today we have got 2 players, number 10 of Kanyarujiri and number 6. So they're going to join us in January next year.
And here there's good talent. I think they need to get more professional people in to make them, you know, football is like a development. It's a process, not one day thing.
The Jen Embajituka Inter-Sub-County Football Tournament attracted 16 teams and climaxed with a final between Bisheshe Division and Kanyarujiri Town Council. Ultimately, after a mouth-watering engagement, Bisheshe beat Kanyarujiri 2-1 to take home the top prize of a trophy and a bull. In the third place playoff final, Bufunda edged Rukiri 4-2 to take home several goodies.
Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Elizabeth Nakakoni and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma wishing you a blessed night. But up next here on UBC TV is Soul Sisters, and that will be followed at 10 p.m. by Behind the Headlines. Enjoy the rest of the programming. See you tomorrow.